Hello everybody! Welcome back to my OC introduction mini-series. I guess it's a mini-series. I don't have that many OCs, but whatever. For those of you that don't know, I have a handful of OCs that I draw all the time, and I'm making dedicated videos for each one of them, so you can get to know them a little bit more. It's a lot easier for me to explain things verbally rather than writing a bunch of long paragraphs full of text on my Instagram captions, so this is just kind of self-indulgent too, because I just like talking about my kids. But yeah, I actually made 2 previous videos for OC introductions before, so I'll be linking those in the description. So if you like OCs and like listening to me ramble about my children, then please do go check them out. Before I get into it, I just quickly wanted to plug my social media really quick because I always forget to do that in videos. I'm kind of dumb. But yeah, if you haven't yet, follow me on my Instagram and Twitter. I'm most active on my Instagram, so that's where I'm always replying to comments and replying to DMs and stuff like that. I also just recently made a TikTok. I post some of my art on there. I only have like 4 TikToks, I think. I don't know. It's been okay. It's been pretty fun. It's really confusing, but trying to get the hang of it. And lastly, I also started streaming a lot more on Twitch. It's mainly just art and video game streams, mainly for Identity V, because that's the only game I have time to play lately. But yeah, if you guys could please help me out by dropping me a follow, I would love you guys forever. Like I said, I mainly do art streams and then game streams from time to time. But yeah, I would appreciate it if you guys check those out. All of my links will be in the description. And I love you. Thank you for checking them out. Anyway, let's get into the actual introduction. So today's video is about my OC, Lila Hellstorm. If you guys know my main OC, like the first one, my golden child, I love him. My main OC, his name is Nilo. If you know him at all, this is actually his younger sister. She's also the only female OC that I have that I actually draw frequently. I'm not looking at Rose, who's their mom. I drew her, I think, twice and then never again. I'm so sorry, Rose. I'm so sorry. So yeah, Lila is really the only girl that I draw semi-regularly. I'm just really bad at drawing girls. Like, it's so difficult for me that I just end up not having that many female OCs. That's why most of my OCs are guys. Well, yeah, literally all of my OCs are guys except like 1. So yeah, but I do really love Lila. I think she's really cute and I do really like her personality, so I like drawing her. So unlike Nilo, she has purple hair, as you will see once we get into the painting part of the speed paint. She inherited, is inherited the right word to use? I don't know. But yeah, I guess she inherited that purple hair gene from their grandfather on their mom's side. So Rose, Nilo and Lila's mom, she has kind of like a reddish burgundy hair color, but her parents, Rose's parents, had purple and red. So while the purple passed over Rose, Lila ended up getting it instead. I guess I didn't have to think so seriously about their hair color genetics or lineage or something, since it's literally just anime science. But I like having some sort of sense or reality within this impossible fiction, so I like thinking about those things. So I thought I'd at least mention it. Lila also has purple eyes instead of red like Nilo, which makes her take after her mom as well. Rose, their mom, also has purple eyes, just a little bit darker than Lila's. And yeah, fun fact, Nilo's favorite color is purple because both his sister and his mom have purple eyes, so he really likes the color because it reminds him of both of them. Please don't ask me how her hair works. I still have no idea what it would look like if she let down her buns, but she usually always wears her hair in those 2 buns anyway, so I guess I don't have to figure it out just yet. But I'll have to eventually, but not right now. So I really don't know what that would look like. I'ma just move on and not think about it. Lila also really likes fashion. I feel like I basically make all of my OCs really fashionable just because it lets me indulge into drawing really fashionable clothing that I could never afford or pull off. So yeah, she's also into fashion and she really likes to experiment with different styles, whereas my other OCs kind of fall into their archetypes of fashion styles that they wear. Lila pretty much tries doing whatever. She just likes trying different styles one day and then the next, and she has a style that she falls into more often, which is kind of like the alternative punk, kind of, I guess, my fashion style, but a lot better because she doesn't have to worry about money. But she also likes doing just a bunch of other styles like sporty or fuckboy styles or just super casual. Like, she'll really do whatever. So yeah, she also really likes to wear a lot of accessories. She wears these 2 skull bat heart clips in her buns all the time, and that's like her staple accessory that she will not leave the house without. On top of that, she of course wears the classic Hellstorm family blood-filled jewelry. Unlike Nilo's blood earring though, she has 2 blood earrings, and hers actually have little crosses that dangle from the bottom of it, just because, you know, she has to be more edgy than Nilo, I guess. Her birthday is August 3rd, which makes her a Leo. But yeah, Lila is also like the epitome of what I would call a feral baby. Like, she is baby, but she's also a monster. Okay, I wouldn't be that dramatic. She's not like a monster, but she is pretty feral and chaotic. So she's super energetic, and like, I said she was chaotic, but like kind of the refined chaotic, if that's even a thing. She's like really clever and astute and likes to pull pranks on people. She and my other OC, Koji, that I made a video on just before this, they get together and get along really well, and they are just insane. They wreak all sorts of havoc together. If they're in the same room and you're with them, I'm praying for you because they're a lot. They would be a lot to handle. She's pretty short, coming in at a flat 5 feet. I like how I'm saying she's short when I'm only 5'3". Who am I? That's the main reason why she's always wearing really big platform shoes, because she really wishes she was taller, especially in her family, because Nilo is 6'4". Her dad, Rain, is 6'5", or did I make him 6'6"? I can't remember, but he's a fucking giant. And Rose is like 5'5" or 5'6". So she's definitely like tiny compared to the rest of her family, which is why she's always wearing like deep platform shoes, so that she can at least like semi-proportionate to the rest of her family. But yeah, she's also super into makeup. When she's procrastinating, she'll try out different looks and like experiment with different eyeshadows and foundations and all that stuff. But on the daily, she's kind of too lazy to do all that, so she just ends up doing the same look and the same thing every day, just because it's a lot easier to do that. And just like Nilo, she has dark circles under her eyes, you know, that vampire aesthetic. It takes a lot of effort to cover that up with concealer and foundation, so a lot of the time she just doesn't even end up trying to cover them up and just like kind of rolls with it. She doesn't really care too much, but sometimes she does like having it completely concealed, and other times she's just like, this is too much work, fuck that. Okay, next let's talk about her quirk. She's also, I guess, one of my BNHA OCs. I kind of explained it in my last video how I'm basically going to be extracting my OCs out of the BNHA universe, but I'm just still calling them my BNHA OCs because Nilo was I made him with the intention of being my BNHA OC, and since she's his sister and also I gave her a quirk, she's technically also my BNHA OC, but I'm gonna be, like I said, taking them out of that and just using them for other purposes. So, I don't know why I went on that tangent. I explained it better in my previous video. I can't talk today. I don't know what's wrong. Let's talk about her quirk, which, quick explanation, if you're not familiar with BNHA, basically all the characters have powers, which are called quirks, so that's what I'm talking about right now. I think I've mentioned this a lot when talking about Nilo specifically, that like I know his power / quirk, which is blood manipulation, is literally super common and not creative at all, and it's something that I'm completely fine with because I think it's a really cool power, and I like the possibilities I can, like the scenarios that I can come up with in my head for him specifically with that power, so I really don't care that it's not creative or unique, but I'm actually gonna pat myself a little bit on the back for Lila's quirk. Cause I think it's unique, I think it's unique. I've never heard anybody else talk about a power like this or anything similar, so I'm just gonna say this is my brain worm. Like this is mine. But watch, now that I said that, somebody is gonna fucking like find somebody who has had this idea like a million years before me. Which is fine, I guess. Honestly, you can't even be original with basically anything anymore, so I don't really care. But on the off chance that this is something that hasn't really been done before, let me just boost my ego for half a second, okay? Okay, I really love her power. Low-key, I wish, honestly, anything blood related, I wish I had powers like that. I think that would be so cool. But enough rambling, her power is called Blood Puddle. Just as the name suggests, she can turn other people into puddles of their own blood and manipulate them in their liquid state. So what I mean by that is like she can turn a person in front of her into a puddle, and once they're in that liquefied puddle state of blood, she can control that blood and either use them as a weapon, transport them to a different location, or, I don't know, spin them around really fast so that they get really dizzy just to fuck with them. Basically that kind of stuff. The stronger the enemy or the person she's trying to turn into a puddle is, the harder it is for her to actually liquefy them. And also, if they're really strong, the amount of time that they stay in that liquefied state is a lot shorter. So, for example, if she turned like some random normal strength person on the street into a puddle, she could probably do that really easily and from pretty far away, and maybe keep them in that puddle state for like a whole day, like assuming they're not particularly strong or anything or have no powers or something, she could probably do that pretty easily. But if she were fighting like a big scary villain who's like super strong or something, she would probably have a really hard time even liquefying them to begin with, and once they're in that liquid state, they could probably break out of that puddle form pretty fast. Maybe she would only be able to contain them for a couple seconds or maybe a couple minutes if she's lucky. So it really just depends on who she's dealing with. Of course, the stronger Lila ends up getting, the stronger her power gets, and the longer she's able to keep people in that puddle form. One thing that helps her a lot is if she's able to touch somebody first, it boosts her ability to liquefy them. But if she manages to bite them first, that gives her an almost 100% chance that she'll be able to turn them into a puddle. So her best bet facing like a really strong enemy would be to basically run right up to them, bite them somewhere, and then turn them into a puddle really fast. That still doesn't guarantee that she'll be able to hold them in that puddle for a very long time, but she'll most likely 100% be able to turn them into a little pile of mush. Nothing happens to the person when they're in the puddle form, So like when she releases them or they break free, they just kind of morph back into their regular bodies. The only after effect of that might be that they'll just feel a little like wobbly or something for a couple minutes after, depending on how long they were stuck in the puddle too. Like it's just depending on what she did to you in the puddle too. Like if she spun you around really fast, she's kind of like just spinning your body. So if she's like twirling you around, you'll get dizzy, and if she immediately just releases you from the puddle, you'll just be like hella dizzy. I hope that makes sense. I'm really bad at explaining things. Why do I make these videos? Anyway, it doesn't matter. So that pretty much covers what her quirk is like, and most of her physical appearance. Before I wrap things up though, I'm just gonna quickly go over what her relationship is like with Nilo, because I get questions about that a lot on my Instagram, like how they interact with each other and if they like each other, because Lila is definitely a little shit, but like a lovable little shit, you know? So she's 1 year younger than Nilo. I think the first time I made her, I said she was 2 years younger, but then I ended up changing it to being 1 year, and I think that's what I'm gonna keep it at. And they are actually really close as siblings. They're very much like that. Well, Nilo is very much like, I love my little sister, I love my family kind of person, whereas Lila loves her family, but it's not like she would... She loves her family and she loves her brother, but it's not like she would tell her brother that she loves him. She's not like a tsundere though either. It's not like she would be like, it's not like I like you or anything. Like, she's not like that. It's more just like kind of embarrassing to be like, you know, when you're at a game or something and your parents come up to you and like hug you and they're like, I love you, and you're like in front of your friends, and it's just like she's very bashful about that. So it's not like Nilo knows she loves him, but it's not like something that she would ever like admit or say, if that makes sense. But yeah, they are pretty close as siblings. She really loves giving Nilo a hard time. It's basically her favorite hobby, just because poor Nilo is so easy to bully. Lovingly bully, of course, but he's really easy to give a hard time, so she just loves doing that. But if anyone actually ever, I don't know, truly said something rude or actually mean about him to her, or if she like happened to be there when somebody like insulted him or made like a rude comment about him, she would most definitely just probably straight up kill them. Like, she'd just murder them, just no questions asked. She'd just be like, fuck you, you're dead. What'd you say? You're dead. She can definitely get pretty scary when she's angry. I guess she's like most short people with short tempers. She literally doesn't have any problems just cussing people out. Like, even if they're twice her size, she doesn't give a shit. She'll just go run up to them and be like, you want to know what I think about you? And just like cuss them out, no problem. Like, she's that kind of person. And honestly, I wish I had that energy, but I'm too much of a pussy. So like I said before, Nilo, on the other hand, really loves his sister. He really loves his family. And he puts up with her teasing because like he knows that she in specific doesn't mean any harm by it, and it's just all fun and games. Like, you know how you insult your friends, but you're not actually insulting them. Like, if you say like, oh, you're such a dumb bitch, but I love you, that kind of thing, he like doesn't care when it comes from her or Koji, because he knows like they love him. They're not like trying to be mean or anything. It's just all fun and games. And he knows that deep down she actually does love him too, so it's all good. And Nilo is pretty patient. Like, he doesn't really get riled up or angry or irritated or stuff like that. The only extreme forms of emotion he'll show is just being really flustered or embarrassed or really shy and nervous. But he's also really funny and just like chill and stuff like that. But the only times he will get into like really petty arguments will be with like Lila or sometimes Koji. But yeah, basically that like typical sibling dynamic where they just fight over stupid things. Maybe just like, I don't know, Lila went into his room and like stole his Capri Suns or something, and now he's fucking pissed and whatever. That kind of stuff. So that's really the only person he really gets like really into it with, like petty arguments and stuff, which I think is really funny to explore sometimes. But overall, Nilo is just pretty chill with everything because, you know, that's just how she is. So what can you do? And just as a little insert, I think I mentioned a bit before, but Koji is Nilo's best friend, and since they're best friends and they're basically conjoined by the hip all the time, Koji and Lila actually get along really well and are friends, pretty close friends. They're not like best friends, but basically, you know, when you have like a sibling and their best friend just becomes your best friend too, like that's just kind of how it happens, but like they're not actually your best friend. I'm assuming that's how it is because I'm an only child, so let me know if that's a thing, because I see it with my cousins and how they are with their friends, so that's what I'm basing it off of. Let me know if that's true or not. But yeah, Koji and Lila get along really well. They're both fucking crackheads, so when you put them together, it's just like chaos. And they both just kind of like gang up on Nilo just because it's fun. So if you have a second tonight, please pray for Nilo's sanity. He really needs it. I hope he can get out of that household soon. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's about it about Lila. I think that's it. Yeah. Just like with my previous video, if you have any questions or assumptions about her, leave them in the comments below. I will be making a second video, or like making a video where I'm going to be answering questions and assumptions about my OCs, just because if I put them in their dedicated videos, these would end up like 3 hours long, and I don't want to be that person. So I'll be saving those questions that I have for her from my Instagram and Twitter, and I guess now in the comments too, for a future video. So please let me know your thoughts and your questions about her. I really want to know. But I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about my chaotic daughter. She's crazy. I love her. Kind of wish I was her, but we're gonna cry about it later. I have a lot of fun making these videos, just talking about my kids, because I can't be wrong. You know, like when it comes to character analysis and stuff like that, people have different perceptions of characters in the media, but these are my characters, so anything I say is correct, technically. So I'm just having a good time talking about my kids that I think about too often. So I hope you guys enjoy these because I really like making them. I only have a handful of OCs left to do. I don't know what's gonna be next. I could redo Nilo's ref sheet and redo his video because his first video was super cringe, but we'll see. Or I could finally make a ref sheet for their dad, Rain. Or I also have Aki that I need to make a new ref sheet for. I don't know. I have a lot of options. I don't know what my next video is gonna be. Probably, maybe, a regular speed paint. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a good time, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I love you. But yeah, thanks so much. I love you all, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.